Welcome to Reflections, Monday's short-form studio feature ahead of Friday's Photo Walk podcast. Thoughtful observations on creativity and, well, just life really. You'll find all 5 of this week's reflections on our Patreon channel, The Extra Mile. Delayed gratification. I didn't see it when I took the picture. It was one of those fleeting moments on the London Underground, camera in hand, searching for a face that might break the rhythm of the crowd. And then, there he is. A lone character among those waiting for trains. A poster on the wall caught the hum of the platform light just right. And for a heartbeat, the ordinary scene was worth making a picture of. A man stood facing an advertising hoarding who turned slightly to show a profile, just at the right moment. The colour, the composition lined up just right, so I raised the camera, made the frame and caught the next train alongside him. It wasn't until 2 years and 1 month later, when I was just looking back over some images made for my 365 project, that I noticed what I'd really photographed. There it was, in bold type. Breaking news is broken. And beneath it, the line, try the world's first slow journalism magazine. Delayed gratification. Now, there's irony. Here I was, a photographer trying to think quickly in a reasonably fast pace, missing the message right in front of me about slowing down. There's a nudge from the photograph itself, whispering, nay, shouting, delayed gratification. Delayed gratification, as it turns out, is a real publication, a quarterly magazine that tells the news in reverse. What? How does that work, Neil? Well, 3 months after the headlines have faded, this quarterly revisits them with distance and reflection, reporting not on the noise of the instant moment, but on the meaning of the whole thing. It's journalism that values hindsight over hot takes, depth over immediacy. I was musing over how that might work for, say, social media. You post, or at least upload, but you get some kind of thinking time. The picture doesn't appear for, say, 3 months, and in that time, you get a chance to rewrite your thoughts or think about the purpose behind posting a picture in the first place. Delayed gratification. It's an idea that feels, fairly radical in an age of constant refresh. No breaking news, no panic. Consider journalism when we've all had the time to breathe the story in. And perhaps that's why this image on the show page today, this fleeting discovery, resonates so much. Because photography, I think, has its own kind of slow journalism. You record something in an instant, but the real importance, or the story, or the significance, only unfolds with time. You see the photograph later and realise there's something much more relevant than you thought maybe at the time of actually pressing the shutter button. When I first pressed the shutter button on this platform scene, I thought I was making a simple picture. A man just looking down a platform waiting for a train. Nothing big, nothing clever. A wall of colour beyond him. Not necessarily a big shot. But when I came back to it, 2 years, 1 month after making it, the photograph became a reminder to self, as I like to say, of course, that the world doesn't always reveal itself immediately. Meaning takes time. In that sense, the picture and the magazine share a philosophy: to resist the urge to react and instead to reflect. It's like the old order, isn't it? Where letters took days to arrive and then your response, days more. By the time you'd both thought of composition and response, it could be a week or 2. And that's only a first pass, as it were. Every issue of Delayed Gratification, the magazine, rewinds the clock, asking readers to pause and reconsider what really happened. Not the first date noise, not all those headlines, but the truth that surfaces once emotions cool and context returns. In photography, we do something similar. We freeze a moment, not to race it into the feed, but to hold it long enough to perhaps understand it later on, or just appreciate it. Let's not get too artistic. And that's the beauty of a 365 project as well. The whole thing is built on delay. You don't always see the story of a day until you look back later on in the year. You realise that the real gratification comes not from the daily act of posting or sharing, making sure that it's up by 12 midnight, but from the collection that grows over time, or the recollection, from the patience, seeing and visiting or revisiting. Thinking about the man in my photograph, maybe he was just killing time, waiting for the same train I was. Well, that he was. Or maybe, like me, he saw something that made him stop. Either way, that pause, that act of looking, now feels a tad more valuable now than it did in the moment, if only just a little bit. Because in the end, delayed gratification isn't just a catchy title for a magazine or a podcast episode. It's a way of seeing. And I like that. The thought that a photograph or a headline or a day can still be waiting to tell you something long after you've moved on. And surely that's the real gift of both photography and, in this case, slow journalism. They ask you to stop being first and start being present. To accept that the story doesn't end at the moment it's captured, it simply begins there. And so this picture that I took of a man looking at a wall of posters, then back along the platform, a scene which feels, well, very ordinary, has become this small study in patience, a lesson in seeing more slowly. A reminder that the best things we make and the truest things we notice often arrive fittingly on delay.